Whew. Alright guys, me and Mickey just went on a little bit of a walk, and I was going to do a little walk and talk, but I really needed to pay attention to him. I have a little bit of video that I will cut to. He's doing fine on the leash. It's just really hard to direct a cat. In fact, you mostly give up on it, and he gets to do what he wants to do most of the time. The idea is for him to get used to the idea of the leash being there before you're trying to make them do anything. It's not exactly the way you would do it with a dog. With a dog, yes, you have pullers, but with the cat, you really are letting the cat walk you. So you want to get them to an area where they're comfortable, and then you're just letting them explore for a while before transferring them to some other sort of receptacle a lot of the time. Like there's a lady I saw, like if she goes on a 5-hour hike, the cat maybe walked 45 minutes of it. And spends a lot of other time, like he still prefers just getting up on my shoulder. We haven't really done the backpack. He's just been eating in the backpack. I'm thinking about this black carrier that I bought for him initially. The one over here. Because he gets in that voluntarily already, because it's left open all the time in the passenger seat, which is like his spot, sort of. Like that whole area is his spot. Like he's either in the windshield or he's in there. But it's kind of hard to do videos now without bringing up Mickey. But this is supposed to be my health and fitness check-in, and basically last week I did nothing but focus on finishing that storage unit. I was not careful about eating. I didn't do any exercising, and I just kind of slacked off of anything that wasn't getting that storage unit done. That was because I needed to concentrate 100% on getting that storage unit done. This would have been my deadline day. But because I was trying to do everything, I was trying to edit video, I was trying to keep up with my fitness routine, and then I added a cat to the mix, which was, mostly my choice. And I don't regret anything about adding Mickey to my life because I, added a cat to the mix. That there was also all of that. There was all the things that happened with that. There were people I hung out with. There were a lot of things I let just sort of happen when I first got here that delayed me really concentrating on the storage unit. I also, once I opened that door and I realized how much stuff I had, I didn't want to deal with it. I think there was a part of my brain that checked out on it. And so the excuses to be distracted were really, really heavy. And then next thing I knew, I had 2 days before the end of September, and October was right on my back. And so I was like, I need to really concentrate on this. And I pushed everything away. And just focused on getting that done. And as somebody said in the comments, I gave myself a raise because that's money that's never going to have to go out for that storage unit again. But on the other side, I really have hurt my fitness, my channel, a lot of things by not doing any general van life videos this week. Unfortunately, these health and fitness check-ins are not my greatest performing videos. They're one of my lowest performing videos, and I do them for me despite how they affect channel performance, because it keeps me motivated to know on Monday I have to report. And so I report on Monday, which is what I'm doing right now. And they aren't fancy schmancy videos. They're not like sexy. I don't know that I've ever done a sexy van life video. They're not sexy van life video. Maybe I should do some sexy videos on OnlyFans and see if I can get me some extra dollars. Because every time I take time off to not be constantly producing videos, it goes down, and there are people who don't watch these videos. When they see it's a health and fitness check-in, they are not interested, and they skip those videos, and I don't blame them. I do that with other YouTubers. I'm like, I don't know that I'm interested in this subject. That doesn't sound like something that's really, like, for me, or not the reason that I'm watching the channel. Today, I met somebody who's a casual watcher of the channel. They've seen a couple of videos here and there, and so they're not as invested in my personal journey. And so, like, letting that week go is like also giving myself, I just talked about giving myself a raise by finishing the storage unit. It's also giving myself a pay deduction, because once your views go down, your ad revenue goes down. But it was something I needed to do, and now I can just focus. But bringing that back to my fitness and health routine, what I've decided is I'm going to restart the last 30 days. So the week I did, I'm going to count that as not counting because I didn't follow through consistently with it. So this is going to be the first of the last 4 weeks, or the first of the last 30 days of P90X. So starting on Tuesday, I will be on, the first day of week 1 or whatever. But yeah, that's where I am for my health and fitness. I needed to do what I needed to do, and usually I get mad at myself, and then you guys get mad at me for being mad at myself, because I want to believe that nothing will interfere with me getting in my fitness routine, and something did interfere. And the only reason I think I got done and didn't end up having to pay for storage for October is because I took everything else off the table except getting up every morning and cleaning out that storage unit, whatever it took. And so I am glad I did that, because it was the right thing to do for the long term of my overall life health, if that makes any sense. So I'm not going to be mad at myself for the week that I took off of working out, because it was a very conscious choice. It wasn't, I don't feel like it. It wasn't, not wanting to do it, if that makes any sense. I felt guilty every day I didn't do it, so it was the exact opposite. And I'm just not going to hold it against myself as long as I keep my word to myself. And Tuesday is the start of my last 30 days of P90X, or my last 4 weeks, or the last cycle. And I'm going to call that, that the week before last, when the last time I actually did a week of working out, I'm just going to call that a bonus week. And that way I'm not restarting from the beginning, but I am restarting that last cycle so that goes through smoothly. Amazingly, I did much better keeping up with my exercise routine when I was traveling than I did when I was pretty much static. Which is, I've been in like this same area consistently. So, that is great. To know that I'm about to go back into that mode, because I did well in that mode. I did well with my eating because I ate most of the time out of the van. And it's something about seeing a temptation constantly that can really motivate you to give into that temptation. So it's like, wow, I'm driving past another, I'm sleeping in the parking lot of, they have that thing, so like being constantly around the same thing and knowing exactly where it is and how quickly to get it, I think is actually more of a temptation than when I'm on the road, because I'll just eat out of my fridge for some reason. So I actually do better in that mode. So I'm actually a little glad I'm going to be on the road soon, because I think I'll actually do better on the road. Me and Mickey are kind of in a routine now. I'm encouraged, actually. I know people think dogs are the only way to get out, but because I want to train him, to be comfortable with the outdoors, for it to be a part of his normal, but a part of his normal in a way where I kind of trust and control, what's going on with him. this cat is actually a motivation to be outside casually more than I've probably been. And I think another reason, like, I was so, drawn to feeling like this was the right time to have a pet. I remember being at a campsite on my trip up here. All this has very little to do with a health and fitness check-in, but I already told you guys I'm just going to restart the last month. But I was on this campsite, and I thought how much better it would be to have a dog. That was my thought at the time, because I'm a dog person. So my first thought was dog, and like, oh, it'd be cool if I had a dog right now. It'd be great if there was a dog with me. And I thought dog. I didn't think cat at all. But I had thought cat before, of like, it might be easier to have a cat. If they don't get out, they don't need to go outside to go to the bathroom. The same can be true of a dog, but I want a big dog. And if you have a big dog, they're probably not going to pee on pee-pee pads. In a small vehicle. Yes, this is a full-size van, but compared to like an RV or a bus or something like that, it's a relatively small vehicle. So you do have to rely on making sure they have access to the bathroom every day, which for them, in most common cases, are going outside. So like, I knew if I wanted a dog, I want a big dog. I don't know why. I just want a big dog. I've had little dogs. I would take a little dog if I found a stray little dog on the street. Obviously, JoJo is a little dog. But my thought is like, if I get a dog, I want a big dog. And on that campsite, I really was thinking dog. But I have thought cat in the past. One, because I've never owned a cat, and so I've always been fascinated by the idea of raising one. Even before I was living in a van. This whole thing about my mom didn't like cats. And so I've always wanted one because I was denied one as a child. I also had a hamster for the same reason, but they only lived like 4 years. And a friend of mine actually ended up taking over him at the tail end of his life for complicated reasons. But so I've had a rodent, and now I've had a feline. Two things my mom wasn't fond of. It was canine or nothing. That's how her world went. But ever since I've been like researching adventure cats and people who have not only have cats in their vans and RVs, but actually go exploring with their cats, I realize having a cat instead of a dog doesn't really cut off the possibility of them being a partner in your exploring of the world. There's the stereotype that works better when you have a dog, but as long as you understand cats are going to be a different situation, like half the time I put him down, he walks around, he explores a little bit, and then he's done, and he's glad to come back to me, and then like I'm carrying him in some way. Right now I have a cat backpack. I also have a sling. But it's a different world with a cat. But it doesn't mean it's not fun, and it doesn't mean it doesn't encourage me to go outside. So I'm looking forward to what that looks like with a cat. I'm learning what that journey looks like, what including him in my physical activity looks like. And I am happy to start the last cycle of P90X with my good weights, my big, beefy weights. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. This is a pretty rambly video. I just promised myself I wasn't going to beat myself up. And I honestly, because I have Mickey now, I know you're wondering where Mickey is. I'll show him to you in a second. I feel less like I need to beat myself up. I think I was feeling this draw to have a pet even before I saw JoJo. And then once I saw JoJo, my old dog, with my old roommate, and knowing I still loved him and he still knew who I was, but he wasn't really my dog anymore. He was their dog. He was Katie and Chris's dog. I knew that I needed something, someone, some being, some living thing that was with me, and not necessarily a human. Because humans are troublesome. Like, I feed him, I pet him a little bit, and he's fine. He's also a cat, so he sleeps a lot. And then I can do my work. I don't have to consult with him about where we're going. It's a much less complicated relationship. He doesn't care as long as we're both there I do feel like I did set myself back in multiple ways, but it's a life journey, so that's okay. There's no race I'm trying to win. I'm just trying to be overall as healthy as I can. And let's say, I don't know, I got trapped, somewhere for a week and there was no way to get out and I didn't have access to a gym. Like, what would I do then? And I've sort of had to approach this situation in the same way. Gosh, this video is terrible. Please don't unsubscribe. I'll show you Mickey in a second because somebody's going to ask, where's Mickey? This is the consequence of adding a pet to your channel. For anybody who's wondering, he had quite the adventure outside and now he's just sleeping. I'll take his harness off later because I think he's going to be inside for the rest of the day. It's also pretty late. So yeah, there's Mickey, just a sleeping.